News Central now at this hour begins in Nigeria's capital Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has reinstated Professor Nenibarini Zabi as the project coordinator of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project. This decision, announced by Tinubu's special advisor on media and publicity, Ajurin Galale, came after a performance review deemed Zabi fit to continue in his role. The announcement followed Tinubu's earlier appointment of Dr. Olufemi Adekombi as the new coordinator, which was reversed after evaluating Zabi's performance. Zabi was initially appointed in May 2023 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, succeeding Dr. Gyadom Dumbari. Away from that, let's tell you that the police command in Kaduna State says it has banned all forms of unlawful gathering by the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria, including its planned Ashura process. Now, the command's spokesperson, ASP Mansur Hassan, announced the ban in a statement issued on Sunday in Kaduna. Hassan said the command will not hesitate to bring the full weight of the law to bear on any person or group, especially the outlawed IMN members that dare to violate the ban. He equally said that the hard-earned relative peace in the state can never be compromised by the selfish defiance of a few renegades. Away from that, torrential rains have caused flooding in Maynot community of Borno State in Nigeria's northeast, which has isolated the town, disrupting travel between Maiduguri, Damaturu and Kano roads. Residents are assessing widespread damage to property and infrastructure, including homes and farms submerged. Earlier, News Central's Umari Kirawa spoke to us from Maynot community with the update.
It's an ugly scenario that happened in the early morning hours, around 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning. Like the proverbial statement, the flood came just like a thief in the night and then taking away homes, hospitals, crops. Farms were really affected. And the community, they are struggling to survive after the years of insurgency. And unfortunately, this ugly scenario happened due to a heavy downpour yesterday night that led to the swelling up of a river which flooded the entire community, leaving people, some of them crying and some of them are hopeful that the government will respond to their.
Staying with environmental matters, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Sunday inaugurated the reintroduction of the monthly environmental sanitation exercise campaign in Lagos State. The monthly environmental sanitation was a culture in Lagos State some years back to promote a clean and healthy environment, encourage community participation in waste management, and reduce the risk of disease outbreaks. Sanwo-Olu called for the cooperation of all residents and stakeholders in making this a success. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to discuss the reintroduction of a monthly cleaning exercise by the Lagos State government, we have Dr. Tokpe Olatunde Ayedun, an environment expert and a lecturer at Confluence University of Science and Technology, Osara in Kogi State, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Ayedun.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so what difference would you say that the reintroduction of monthly environmental sanitation in Lagos State, will make? Especially when it comes to, reduction of the amount of waste that ends up clogging drains and contributing to flooding.
Yes. Thank you. The monthly environmental sanitation exercise is very crucial and is timely at a time like this because it will make everybody to be involved. It will be the responsibility of everybody, all the community, the society. People will no longer be looking at just the government doing their thing. So in this exercise, the environmental sanitation exercise, it will help community dwellers, the residents of the Lagos State, to actually know the benefits and the reasons why they need to come out to clean up the environment. As at the time they were doing that before this was closed for one reason or the other, I think the environment was far better than what it is now. So introducing it, there will be a significant change in the sense of containing the drastic flooding crisis that we have in Lagos State and is now on yearly program. I'm sure that with the cleaning of drainages, as well as cleaning of removing waste from the drainage that where water is supposed to pass, I'm sure that that way it will also help to curtail the crisis that we are presently experiencing in Lagos State as well in other states in Nigeria.
All right, Doctor. Now, beyond just cleaning now, how can the environmental sanitation program, include educational initiatives to teach residents about proper waste disposal and recycling, which can help mitigate climate change?
Yes, the educational sector has a lot to play in this aspect, in the sense that we have been groomed as environmental experts. We have been groomed to, create awareness, to sensitize people on the benefits and the uses of cleaning the environment, the surroundings. Apart from the ecological crisis that is going on, we also have some outbreaks, which is health related, such as the cholera outbreak and all those things. All this crisis is as a result of the uncleanliness in the environment. And this waste that we dispose to our environment is what is causing this harm. Most often time, people that goes by the road, you will see them littering the whole road with their leathers and their refuse everywhere. All those things need to be sensitized that whatever you are giving the environment, whatever you are throwing to the environment, it comes back directly or indirectly back to your home. So we need to sensitize them. So educational sector has a role to play before this sensitization exercise, before the sanitation exercise. You need to sensitize this community, these residents, on the benefits.
Okay, now speaking of community, right, Doctor, with the environmental sanitation program back in place, how can residents ensure maximum community participation to make it most effective in reducing flood risks and reducing outbreaks of diseases?
One of the best methods, which I feel is very essential for all government to do, is to adopt the method of reward and punishment. There should be reward to those who have been doing well in coming out, in performing the sanitation exercise on monthly basis. There can be like neighborhood reward, there can be like individual reward. Just try to recognize those people who are doing more. This will motivate others who are yet to comply to the exercise to do so, because everybody loves to be rewarded. Also, punishment is also required. For those who have not been coming out for this, there should be sanctions towards any attitude of those not complying to coming for the environmental sanitation, because it's for everybody. So you know that you will leave it out for maybe one neighborhood and the other neighborhood will not be involved. So I think these two can actually work well if we go for reward and punishment.
All right. Just before we let you go, Doctor, is there a possibility, of a sanitation program such as this, incorporating measures to address other environmental concerns like air pollution, which can also be worsened by climate change?
Yes, very well. Because as soon as you are able to get the community to get involved in environmental sanitation, they will be asking, why do we need to come out? Why do I need to leave everything I'm supposed to be doing just to come out to clean up my community? Through that, you can sensitize them on the benefits, on the reasons why we need to come out. And in fact, when you are sensitizing them, you give them the benefits. So many benefits involved that also requires brings international dwellers to come and also try and help our environment. So air pollution, flooding, climate change, everything we actually have a role to play during the sensitization exercise, during the environmental sanitation exercise on monthly basis. In fact, I suggest that it should not just be monthly, there should be bi-weekly basis, and as much as possible, we should keep having this environmental sanitation exercise and to get all our environment clean up before we can relax. There should not be a time for us to relax at this moment because of the crisis we are facing, especially the flooding issue.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Ayedun, for speaking to us on this. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Away from that, Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has put on hold the implementation of the nation's electronic central monitor on motor registration for car owners. According to a statement made by 4 spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi on Saturday, the IG gave the order for the ECMR to be enforced starting on July 29th. Nigerians who said the police were using the enforcement order as a pretext to extort car owners protested the decision. The chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on Public Interest and Development Law, John Aikpokpo Martins, said the directive by Egbetokun to begin enforcing the digitized Central Motor Registry was a blatant disregard for the rule of law. To politics now, the Martin Amaewhule-led Rivers Assembly has suspended all expenditures of Rivers Governor Siminalayi Fubara until he presents his budget before the House. The lawmakers gave the governor a 7-day ultimatum to re-present his budget, which has expired. Rivers House leader Major Jack moved the motion to bring up a resolution alerting the House of the governor's 7-day deadline for presenting the 2024 budget to the House. Following consideration, the Assembly decided to shut down the Rivers State Consolidated Revenue Account, prohibiting any expenditure by Governor Fubara's administration. The opposition All Progressives Congress in Rivers State has called on Governor Siminalayi Fubara to respect last week's judgment of the Supreme Court, which declared it is illegal to run local government areas with caretaker committees. This was as one of the replaced local government chairmen, Olobarimete Olo, said the Supreme Court's judgment had paved the way for the local government chairman to return and enjoy the 6-month tenure extension granted them by the State House of Assembly. The 23 local government secretariats in Rivers State have been under police occupation since June 16th, when the tenure of the elected chairman ended. They had attempted to stay in office for an extra 6 months, citing a recent law by the State Assembly, but Governor Fubara resisted the move and appointed caretaker committees to man the local government secretariats pending the conduct of the LG election in October. The police, however, took over the local government secretariats, preventing neither the ex-local government chairman nor the caretakers appointed by Fubara from gaining access. Residents of Sajeri community in Jere local government area of Borno State are celebrating the completion of a significant project initiated by National Youth Service Corps member Zainab Yetunde Adams. Moved by the community's struggle to access clean water, the Corps member Zainab facilitated the construction of a borehole in the area. News Central's Umari Kirawa completes the report.
It used to be an everyday affair for most families in Sajeri to trek of miles in search of water for both human and animal consumption. This water project, initiated by one of Nigeria's core members, Zainab Yetunde Adam, brings relief to the community's long-standing challenge to obtain potable water.
wallahi to wannan taimako da ta zo ta mana Zainab ba abin da zamu ce mata sai dai Allah ya saka mata Allah biya ta kuma fificin shi wallahi muna cikin tsakamuya sai mun tura yaran mu bare mun wata ran ma yara na kamar mu kan mata ne ma zalla sai mun tura su uwa duniya tukuna su ce su nemo mana ruwa
Allah ubangiji kuma ya saka mata Allah ya bata karfi fiye da haka.
Local leaders and community members have expressed profound gratitude to Zainab Adam for her dedication and humanity.
Akwai mutum daya biyu yan kwamitin mun sa su akan bohol da za su kula insha Allah.
We can also mobilize another core members maybe to identify another site like the Bilama said they need more school in this community, so we can look for another core member who can take a personal community project to this community.
I will encourage more core members to carry on such activities which will better the lives of our host community.
The borehole's completion marks a happy moment for the community, significantly improving the residents' daily lives and access to essential resources.
They have like trek miles, and this in turn affects children's school age pupils, because if they have to go to school in the morning, they need to trek miles to get water, and in fact, that water that they're going to get, they're going to buy it at 15 naira per bucket. So imagine, is that the one bucket that they used to cook, they used to bath, they used to wash themselves, use the toilet, wash their uniforms, and we want the society to continue to develop and be clean and healthy. So definitely, that's why I came up with this. And I might be the one that initiated this project, but I don't see myself as owning the project because it's a community thing, it's a collaborative thing, I source the money from people.
Women of Sajeri community smile amidst the cheers as they were supported with grants. The point here is that no effort is little for community development, as it is never too late for well-meaning individuals and organizations to also contribute their efforts for sustainable growth. In Jere for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's Borno state are calling for inclusive education policies to be implemented across the state to hasten post-insurgency recovery. The stakeholders emphasize the need to make educational infrastructure more accessible for persons living with disabilities during a town hall meeting on anti-corruption and promotion of good governance organized by Wadata Media and Advocacy Center with support from MacArthur Foundation in Maiduguri. Again, News Central's Umari Kirawa completes the report.
Inclusive education to enable all citizens to contribute meaningfully to society is what this multi-stakeholders engagement focuses on. Key recommendations include community, civil society and other stakeholders' engagement in monitoring and evaluation, as well as oversight of educational services to ensure inclusivity and accountability.
Kasan gwamnati yana kula da masu bukata na musamman, gaskiya yayi kokari. Su wannan ya kamata in dai za a yi a gama makarantar lafiya kar a karba ko sisi kowane makaranta in yaro na masu bukata na musamman. Ba university a Borno State wanda zai je makabo ya karanta ko kurma ya karatu. A state university ya kamata a bude wajen makafi da guragu da kurame.
If you go to post office in the morning, you will see girls. They will brought them with a jagger or napep, dump them there, just going roaming about, begging for alms. But these girls, if you train them, you are training a nation, because they will be mothers tomorrow. And a mother is always a teacher.
They should be encouraged to go to school, so long as we want Borno to bounce back to its former position.
Educators, community leaders, civil society representatives, and journalists also shared their views on how to improve the educational system.
We have seen in many countries whereby, as a result of hardship and some assaulting economic policies, has made the youth to throng into the streets. Kenya is a good example. We are not praying that this will happen in Nigeria. But if things is not taken into consideration, Nigeria will fall into the prey of these angry youths who are living in hunger, lack of education, and employment.
Updating curriculum frameworks to reflect diverse cultural perspectives and providing continued specialized training for teachers to support inclusive classrooms is said to be critical. They urged policymakers and school administrators to prioritize these measures to create an inclusive educational landscape where every student can thrive. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
The news continues in East Africa, where the death toll from a blast at a cafe in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, has climbed to 9 after a car bomb struck the venue packed with football fans watching the Euro 2024 final. An official from the National Security Agency, Mohammed Yusuf, said 9 civilians were killed and 20 others were wounded in the explosion. Huge fireball and plumes of smoke billowed into the night sky as the explosion ripped through the popular restaurant in the center of the city on Sunday. Police officer Mohammed Salat got to the scene a few minutes after the blast and saw several bodies were discovered under the debris.
fasaxan lahay waa soo ku baxay marka meesha waxa ka socday ciyaaraha ka socday waa taqaanaa nal dhalinyaro badan isku timid marka adiga 7 saac habeenimo waxa la sheegay meeshii inuu ka dhacay qarax inuu ka dhacay waxa way walaal waxaan leeyahay in Allah intii ku dhimatana Ilaahay sanadii fardoosa la geeyo in Allah intii ku dhaawacantana Allah u booga dhayaan leeyahay xalam marka maan ka tagay 4 saac aheed marka xalam marka maan ka tagay 4 saac aheed أصحابي أنا قاعد أتكلم عن مكان قف خدمتي لو أتنقفنا وكنا وعمين.
Staying in the region, polling stations opened across Rwanda for presidential and parliamentary elections, with the African nation's leader Paul Kagame set for victory and extend his iron-fisted rule for another 5 years. Rwanda's de facto leader since the end of the 1994 genocide and president since 2000, Kagame faces only 2 challengers after several prominent critics were barred from standing. The lineup is same as the last election in 2017, when Kagame obliterated his rivals with almost 99% of the vote, and there is little doubt about the outcome this year. Leader of the Democratic Green Party, Frank Habineza, and independent Felipe Mpaimana were the only 2 candidates approved to run against Kagame out of 8 applicants.
Naje gutora nzindutse kugira ngo mbashe kujya mu kazi kanje. Ikindi ngomba gutora kubera yuko ari ingenzi kuri je. Ni by'agaciro mbona ariyo demokarasi nziza. Aho abaturage twitorera abayobozi bakatuyobora bakazanadukorera bakaduhagarara naho tutari mu bijyanye n'iterambere ry'igihugu cyacu.
Naje kwitorera abayobozi bacu kandi beza kandi abayobozi ngomba guhitamo ufite uwo natekereje ku mutima wanjye abo ndi butore ni ngewe ubazi kandi bafite icyo batugejejeho. Tere nicyo cyanzanye hano nahageze hano
bo mu gitondo nabyutse ndavuga ngo ngomba kuza gutora umuyobozi wanjye ugomba kunyobora igihe cy'amatora cyageze. Nabyutse ndavuga ngo ngomba kubahiriza isaha yo gutora ndabyuka ndaza maze gutora.
We head to South Africa, where the United African Transformation says it's pulling out of the Government of National Unity after it claims the African National Congress negotiated with it in bad faith. UAT Head of Communications, Mighty Mabule, said the party has consistently emphasized a need for progressive leadership and good governance for the people of South Africa. The UAT, which did not receive any ministerial posts or chairperson positions in the committee portfolios, announced its decision to join the opposition benches alongside the Mkonto Wesizwe Party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, and the African Transformation Movement. To discuss this, we're joined by Mighty Mabule, United Africans Transformation Head of Communications. Hello, Mighty. Thank you for joining us at this time.
And thank you for inviting me to your channel.
So Mighty, can you confirm the reports that UAT has decided to pull out of the Government of National Unity? If yes, please take us through some of your reasons, behind this decision.
Yes, I would like to confirm the reports that indeed United African Transformation has decided to pull out of government of national unity. But I would like to correct the statement, that you have actually articulated that we have decided to join the opposition benches, not yet. So yes, we met the leadership of the African National Congress on the 22nd of June, and that's when we had the first meeting. And we had the second meeting on the 25th of June, where a statement of intent was just signed. That was when we were actually indicating our intention to be part of Government of National Unity after an invitation by the Secretary General, by the leadership of the African National Congress. So after go to the media. None of the parties should make any public announcement about our participation in the Government of National Unity. So we acted in accordance with that particular decision, where we didn't, publicly inform anyone. We didn't even inform our members, because we were acting in accordance with the agreement that has been reached. Now, we were amazed to realize that the African National Congress is not coming back. 7 days has passed. We wrote to the Secretary General of the African National Congress. We didn't get any response. We engaged the Deputy Secretary General, who even indicated that the National Executive Committee will be meeting. Maybe our matter will be discussed in that particular. No response, no feedback from them. We even engaged the Chief Whip of the African National Congress in Parliament. We did not get any response from them. We were surprised to hear the President making an announcement that a United African Transformation has joined the GNU, and this is one of the parties that is now part of GNU. And we were absolutely surprised by that statement, because we did not get anything. We did not get any signed document. While the agreement said, after we got the signed document, is then that we can be able to sit down and look at our participation and role and make any public announcement. But we're surprised when we hear the statement by the President, telling all South Africans, telling the whole world that United African Transformation is part of the GNU, and we realized that the negotiations were not really in good faith. We felt that we were actually undermined. We felt that our existence as an organization is not actually recognized. And remember, we are leading, we have many members that were waiting for us to make that announcement, and they were waiting patiently so. Now, when they see this on TV, when they hear the President making such an announcement, they were also surprised, Now they looked at us as the leadership as if we were people that were not, that are not actually giving the information. So, in summary, we pulled out of Government of National Unity. Okay. Nothing has been signed. We did not get any feedback from them, no communication from African National Congress. That's why we decided to make a statement that said they were negotiating in bad faith. They did not recognize our existence. Then we don't think it's necessary and important for us to participate in the Government of National Unity.
All right, well, thank you so much, Mighty, for clarifying that with us. We will be speaking to you subsequently to understand what role the UAT will be playing in the future of South Africa's political landscape. In other news from around the world, the director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Chittle, has released a statement, and in it, she says security plans for the Republican National Convention this week has been reviewed and strengthened after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Chittle said her agency is working with all involved federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to understand what happened, how it happened, and how they can prevent an incident like the assassination attempt from happening again. She says officers on the ground moved quickly during the incident, killing the gunman and implementing protective measures to ensure the safety of former President Donald Trump. Chittle adds that the agency understands the importance of the independent review that's been announced by President Biden and says the Secret Service will participate fully. News Central international correspondent AIA Hagen now joins us for more on this story. AIA, what's the latest on the fallout from the assassination attempt on Donald Trump?
Well, the scrutiny really is on the Secret Service at the moment, what they did or did not do in the days leading up to this assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, we do have a bit of information on the building where the shooter was lying down and where he aimed his shots at Donald Trump. It was only 150 meters away from the stage. It was a weak point identified by the Secret Service, and actually it was supposed to be one of two local counter-sniper teams were supposed to be covering that building. It was noted as a designated post in the operational plan. So the question now becomes why it was unguarded. You have a couple of separate eyewitness accounts where people said they saw the gunman on the roof. There's video of him crawling on the roof. Those people said they alerted security that were around at the moment, but nothing was done. So the Secret Service are saying that they're confident in the preparations for the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, which kicks off later today. But they do understand that there will be probes that have been announced by President Joe Biden and members of Congress, and that they must fully participate and be accountable in those probes into what's been deemed as a huge lapse in security.
AIA, what about the shooter? What do we know about him?
Yeah, Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old from Pennsylvania. He was described as an outcast who wore hunting outfits to school. It's thought that he had bomb-making material in his vehicle. He purchased 50 rounds of ammunition just before the attempt on Donald Trump's life. He was white. He was registered as a Republican. It's thought he donated $15 to a Democratic-leaning organization, but he was a registered Republican. It's thought he tried out for a rifle team but was turned around because he was a bad shot. He went to school in Crookston, Pennsylvania for his whole life, wasn't necessarily outspoken about politics or active on social media. But so, you know, you have this lone gunman theory that's being purported. You know, not much is known about him. His parents haven't really made a statement. They have said that they're just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But yes, 20-year-old, young white male, and he is at the center of this plot. But I think what we need to realize is because he was shot dead by the Secret Service, we're never really going to find out the why. We're never really going to be satisfied with the answers of why he decided to do this, why he decided to crawl up on that rooftop and fire those shots at Donald Trump. We will never be satisfied with the answer because he is not here to tell his side of the story.
Absolutely, AIA. Thank you so much for the update. In business, as efforts are underway to address energy issues and power in Africa, there is a need to increase emphasis on sustainable and innovative financing solutions to build resilient, efficient, and inclusive energy systems across Africa. South Africa is hosting a landmark event that will bring together 40 African delegates from 10 confirmed African countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, Angola, DRC, Egypt, Kenya, Mozambique, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe to engage in a comprehensive exploration of South Africa's energy capabilities and project opportunities across the continent. Under discussions will be key conversations for collaborating with key players in the energy sector and sharing broad engagement in the sector, including innovations that allows funding of early-stage technology in the energy transition sector, develop alternative green corridors, and partnering with developers and investors to fund renewable energy projects in Africa.
Has energy challenges, and there's no country that is 100% energy sustainable. But what it matters is that when you have events like this, you get Africans to start to talk. You will recall that most of Nigeria's gas goes to outside of Africa, and even in South Africa, they do import gas from as far as the US. That speaks to the fact that brothers are not speaking. And it doesn't require too much intelligence to know that you will probably get the gas cheaper if you were getting it from Nigeria, and Nigeria will probably get more money from their gas if they had more interactions with Africans.
In sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has officially confirmed the list of clubs officially licensed and eligible to compete in the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup ahead of the new seasons of the competitions. As part of the regulatory framework for CAF inter-club competitions, CAF successfully implemented the mandatory club licensing system for the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup 2024-2025. A total of 58 clubs, including Nigeria's Enugu Rangers and Remo Stars from 46 CAF member associations, were licensed for the CAF Champions League. For the CAF Confederation Cup edition, a total of 51 clubs representing 40 member associations were granted a license and will take part in the competition. Head coach of the Ugandan Rugby Cranes, Fred Mudola, has named a 28-man squad ahead of the 2024 Rugby Africa Men's Cup. The team recently concluded a 5-day training camp at the Youth with a Mission Hopeland campus in Wairaka, Jinja, finalizing preparations. The squad announced during a press event at the Bourbon in Jinja that it will consist of a mix of new talent, 7 internationals, and seasoned veterans. Ivan Magomu continues as captain, supported by vice-captain Brian Oketayot and Conrad Wanyama. The 2024 Rugby Africa Men's Cup will kick off on Saturday, July 20th at the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that security tightened in Kaduna as proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria plans Ashura procession. We also told you that voting underway in Rwanda as President Kagame is set to extend rule. Finally, you heard that death toll from Somalia cafe attack climbs to 9. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do you follow us on social media? We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Dashen Usman.